Hey guys, Nick Gross here. I've got a lesson for you guys. I was actually just almost done making the lesson and I got a phone call, and so I've said scrap the whole thing. I'm doing it again, and I'm gonna try to simplify it this time so it's shorter. So this is lesson number 7. We just learned, I'm pretty sure it's 7, it could be 6, we'll see. Just look at the title, it'll tell you. We'll be sure from what the title says. The title knows more than me. Okay, so previously we learned Hurt by Johnny Cash, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel, and Take It Easy by the Eagles. Now, when in Take It Easy, we use an E minor chord and an A minor chord. Okay, those are gonna be very important in this song. Something that I'd also like to note is, I think I kind of brushed up on this a little bit when we were learning the songs, but in Stuck in the Middle with You, so we have that section, A chord, C chord, G chord, D. Now if you observe those chords, then it implies that we're playing in the key of D, because we have a D chord, a G chord, and an A chord, but we also have a C chord in there, which means we have all the chords for the key of D, all of the major chords, but we also have all of the major chords for the key of G. We have G, C, and D. So that means that the reason that he can play that extra major chord, it would be A. Since I'm calling it in the key of G, our A chord is that extra chord. That would normally be a minor chord. It would normally be an A minor chord in the key of G. Now in the key of D, we don't have the C chord. In the key of D, our C chord would be diminished. So we're playing between both of those keys, I suppose. Now I want to say that realistically it was written in the key of D, and they added the C chord because normally it would be a diminished chord and they're not going to play a diminished chord, so I think they just added the C chord because it has just so it has the elements of the key of G. Now when we look at Hurt by Johnny Cash, we have A minor, C, D, and then the next section we have C or A. We have G, A minor, F, C. So in the key of G, as we just discussed, we have G, C, and D. Now there's that extra F chord, the F major chord. Now that implies that we're playing between the key of G and the key of C. And it's the same thing. If we're playing in the key of G, then we have our F major chord, which is replacing the diminished chord, which is, it works. It works completely, 100%. We can see from both of those songs that instead of playing the diminished chord, if we throw a major chord in there that pertains to the key, the two of, let's say we have G, C, and D. Now, C and G are chords from the key of C. So we can throw that major chord in place of our F diminished that would normally be there in the key of G. Since we have two of the chords from the key of C, then we can just adopt the third chord from the key of the third major chord that we weren't playing. We can just add it in place of the diminished chord, right? If that makes sense. Now, I taught you guys only 2 minor chords so far, and there's an insanely important reason I taught you those minor chords. We have E minor and A minor, and then we have F and A major. Those are important chords. Those chords were outside of key, but I chose these songs because I wanted you guys to have these chords down pat, even though we're only playing in the key of G for the most part. So we have our A major chord and our F major chord. Now, as I previously discussed, when we have a scale, the lowest pitched note, so this would be a G major scale, A major scale, C major scale. And the same thing is applicable for these chords. Since we're barring across for the F chord, we can move it up to the G, it's a G chord. Move it up to the A, it's an A chord. So it's that shape, it's 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. And since we're barring all the way across, the chord, no matter where we do the chord, it's going to be a major chord. Now if we take the A chord, which is just open 3, 3, 3, and move it up 1 fret, then it's going to be 1, or open 2, 2, 2. Open 2, 2, 2 would be the A chord. If we move it up 1 fret, it's going to be 1, 3, 3, 3. Now, that would be an A sharp or a B flat chord. Now, we can take these chords, since they're just barred straight across, we can take them and apply them to any note. Okay, so on the 6th string, we have an F major shape. So we can do any note on the 6th, with the root on the 6th string, we can build a major chord around that by using the F chord shape. And it's always going to be that same shape as long as it's on the low E string. Now, we can do the same thing with our A chord shape. Our A chord, not acorn, A chord. So we take our A chord shape and we can do a C chord, a D chord, an E chord, an F chord, a G chord, any chord. Now, with that being said, we can go that's the chords to take it easy. Okay, so these are chords that most professional musicians, other than country or bluegrass musicians, are going to use. Now there's uses for both, like a G chord, a G chord. Hear that different melodies, different order of notes means that we can play different melodies using different chords, as well as the different ways to play a chord are known as chord voicings. So if we have a C chord here, those are both C chords, but the notes are in a different order, and they sound a little bit different from each other. Now if I play a C chord, they all sound slightly different, so they're like different voices of the same chord. So if another example would be G chord here versus G chord here, sounds completely different, right? But it's the same notes, so it's the same chord. So now we have chords that we can apply. We have chords that we can apply anywhere. That means that previously when I showed you guys the circle of fifths and I was going G, C, D, and C, F, G, you can, these shapes stay the same from key to key. So if I'm on the A string, I can go, it's the 3rd fret is the root, and then the 1st fret is the root, then 3rd fret. So it's, and that's 1, 4, 5, the 1st note, the 4th note, and the 5th note of the scale. Then, if I'm playing a G chord, in the key of G, I can go 3, 3, 5. And what that means is that no matter where you play, if you're on the A string, it's gonna be the same shape. So if I'm all the way down here, 7, 5, 7, and if I'm all the way down here on the G string, or on the low E string, I mean, it's gonna be 7, 7, 9. And so anywhere you go, you're gonna go 5, 5, 7, 10, 10, 12, as long as you're starting with the, as long as your chord, or your key, that the, you know, as long as your first chord is on the low E string, you're gonna have that same shape. Now if you're the first chord of your key, like let's say you're in the key of D, then you're gonna go D, G, A. Now that's 5, 3, 5. So the shape is applicable to any key, making it insanely, insanely useful. Because if you know what key you're playing in, just friggin' find the note and now that's the key of B. We haven't even learned the key of B, but you can play in it now, right? So now I told you guys how important it was before learning the E minor and the A minor. Now if you look at the E minor, it's just like before. We had our A chord and we moved it over 1, right? So if we take our E minor chord and we move it over 1, we have an F minor chord, right? And it's just 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. It's that bar, just like the F chord, except for we're excluding the note that our middle finger would be fretting. So it's the same thing as our major shape. We can move that shape anywhere. We can move that shape anywhere on the low E, as long as the root's on the low E string, it's gonna stay that shape. Now, when we took our A chord, it's this shape that I showed you guys previously. If you look at the A chord and then the A minor chord, you're just moving the third. The third is, since the chord is out of, like, it's A, E, A, C, A, E, A, C. So since it's an A chord, A, E, A, C, we'll C sharp in the majors case, but we can take that shape, and since the A minor is just flatting the third or moving the third over 1, we have open 2, 2, 1 instead of open 2, 2, 2. We can take our that major chord shape I just showed you guys, and instead of playing it barring with the pinky, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go pointer, ring, pinky, and then middle finger. So our middle finger is doing that highest note. It's the same shape as the A minor chord. We're just moving it over, just like we did with the A major chord. So now we have major and minor chords that we can move anywhere, right? Now you could take a look at your D chord and go, oh, well, I can move that out too, you know? That's not very practical, because look at that stretch I'm doing just to do that chord. Later, I'm going to show you guys chords with the roots on the D string, or rather, chords that you can play from the D to the high E, that are easier to play, more practical, right? But now we can play any chord excluding diminished with the root on the E and the A string. That means that we can play pretty much any song now other than the solos, right? So that's going to be really useful to you guys. There's a song that I like a lot. It's a Van Morrison song called Wild Night, and it goes E minor, and then another E minor chord, but on the A string. And then that's it's like our A major chord, but the shape is just changed a little bit. Okay, it's a 7 chord, but we're not going to get into that yet. So we can go E minor, E minor, and both chords sound completely different from each other. We're starting on an open chord and then going to a bar chord, but there's no you can't really distinguish the difference. We can do the same thing, A minor, same thing. We could even go up here. Kind of hard to play up there on an acoustic, but so this is some really useful information to have. Okay, now I have an exercise for you guys, and you're gonna want to write this down. What you're gonna do is, previously I taught you guys major. So the order, if we're playing the G major scale, we have a G major, a C major, and a D major. That we have a second note, a third note, and a sixth note, and a seventh note that are unaccounted for, right? We don't know what chords those are. So we have, the order is G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and then E minor, and then we have our diminished chord, okay, and then the octave. Now, in place of the diminished chord, for now I'm going to have you guys just play a major chord. So what we're going to do is just practice through G major, A minor, B minor, C minor, or C major, D major, E minor, F major, G major, and just practice that over different keys, right? In that situation, I'm doing it like, the shape of the scale, but we don't have to do it the shape of the scale. If we're doing in the key of C, we can go C, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B major, C major. So what we're gonna do is, in the key of G, actually we have an F sharp major. So I messed that up. I did an F major, but we're supposed to do F sharp major and then G major there. So that would be G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp major, or F sharp major, G major, just like that. So what we're doing now is we're trying to become conscious of the notes on the E string and the A string. So what I want you guys to do is you're gonna practice in key those chords and learn it with the root, learn how to play through the entire scale and back with the root on the low E string and the root on the A string. And then we're gonna shift it, but it's gonna remain the same shape. So here's how you would do that. You're gonna go G major, A major, B major, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp major, G major. And then from the G major octave up here, from this G major, we're gonna go backwards. G major, F sharp major, E minor, D major, C major, B minor, A minor, G major. And we're just gonna do that up ascending and then descending. Okay, and then the same thing with C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, C major, B minor. And you're just gonna practice that up and down. And try to go around the circle of fifths to the right, just every sharp key if you can. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but what we're trying to do is learn to play in key really well, learn where every chord would be when we're playing in that key, but we're also trying to learn the notes on the E and the A string. So I'm just gonna show you guys the notes on the E string and the A string for now. It's E, F, first fret, F sharp, second fret, G, third fret, G sharp, fourth fret, A, fifth fret, A sharp, sixth fret, B, seventh fret, C, eighth fret, C sharp, ninth fret, D, 10th fret, D sharp, 11th fret, and then E again on the 12th fret. Now the 12th fret is the same as our open notes. I think I've told you guys that previously, but the 12th fret has these double things here because that's the octave of the open notes, right? Okay, so from these down, it's gonna be E, F, G. It's gonna be the same as E, F, G, A, B, C. You know, it's gonna be those same, it's those same notes. Okay, and on the A string, we have A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay, so what you wanna do, maybe write down, maybe draw a fretboard and write the notes in, or print something off of the internet that shows you all the notes on the guitar. But what you want to do is just become really familiar with these notes. So if you grab any chord, you want to be able to be able to tell which note it is. Let's say I go up to the 7 and do a minor chord, it's an E minor. F major, C major, D major, C minor, A minor, you know, just like that, you know, G major, F sharp minor, F minor, you know, just kind of jump around, B minor, D minor, D sharp minor, whatever, and try to just really get what those notes are down in your head, because then you can play any chord easily. Okay, so that's the entire lesson. Just really practice getting these chords to sound good. As I previously suggested, set a metronome and you're gonna do the chord 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, you know, and just really get those, get it so the chord sounds good. And if the chord doesn't sound good to you, what you're gonna do is fret the chord and then go. Just through, you know, all the notes in the chord. By the way, on this chord, you're not playing the high E string. For the 5th fret root, it would be, if it was a C chord, it would be 3, 5, 5, 5. No note on the high E string. But if a chord doesn't sound right to you, you're gonna pick through and go, which finger isn't sounding right? Or which string am I fretting that isn't sounding right? And then what you're gonna do is practice just that note. You're gonna try to do the bar if it's barred, but you gotta and just try to do that for like 5 times in a row or whatever, or like 5 measures we'll say, so like 5 sets of 4. And if you make a mistake, go back to the beginning and be conscious of the amount of time you spend doing it. You don't want to spend more than 5 minutes doing the same exercise at a time, because you won't gain as much as you would in those first 5 minutes for any amount of time after that. So, and what you can do also is, if you think you have the chords really close to being down, then you can go slap G, slap A minor, slap B minor, slap C major, slap D major, slap E minor, slap F sharp major, slap G major. So slap F sharp slash G. Other than that, just really get these chords down packed, and maybe a cool exercise once you have them down, try to play through Take It Easy, but using these chords, you know. You know, just try to figure it out. I mean, just, you know what I mean? It's just something good to be able to do, is do the same thing with open chords as you can with these bar chords. You know, they sound the same, so why not, you know, apply them in the same ways, right? Okay, have a nice day. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to spread the word, so if you know anyone who's trying to learn how to play the guitar and they're a beginner, send them to my videos. I'll take any request for any kind of lesson, whether it be how to play a song, why something works a specific way, anything. You know, just comment, any suggestions, requests, anything like that, and I will make the video within a few days, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.